This is Isaiah.
Yo, yo.
And we're back. Second day in a row. We're going to do a couple movie reviews. We'll start with a movie we literally just got out of. And this is called Bring Her Back. Following the death of their father, a brother and a sister are introduced to their new sibling by their foster mother, only to learn he has a terrifying secret. Now we'll start off as usual, and Efto will start off with, as always, with spoiler-free bits, general thoughts, and then a little bit of ways into it, we'll give you a warning. This movie's brand new, so talk spoiler-free at first. If you want to give your just a general initial spoiler-free thoughts, they're doing a Talk to Me 2 and a Talk to Me prequel.
Who knows?
Oh,
it says a short film.
God. Isaiah told us about these guys that were YouTubers turned directors, a couple of brothers, and got a couple movies. So apparently one is from 3 years ago.
Somehow.
It's still, like, we talked about this last night, and I'm still disturbed by it. So
time waits for no one.
Just initial, I got a couple of things that I wrote down while I was in the theater, and I got to talk about those, but I'll let you start off with some spoiler-free stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I went into this movie having not really, like, I think that first trailer doesn't really give anything away. It's more so just like a, hey, this is the people who made Talk to Me, and here's some weird imagery. And it doesn't really give you anything plot-wise about the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that's all I saw, because I heard if you watch, like, the second trailer, it really spoils a lot of the stuff that happens in this movie. It was nice uncovering the mystery, really, of what was going on as the movie, would go. And I think it's really nice as well that the movie doesn't just do what most movies do nowadays and just tell you what the answer is. You kind of have to figure out what's going on your own. And I like that the movie respects the audience's intelligence with that, because it's like, as long as you just just pay the bare minimum attention, you'll be like, okay, I get what's going on, what they're trying to do here. And I don't know, I did really enjoy it, I will say. Not for the faint of heart. Like, I like Talk to Me, but I think this movie definitely, it does something different. And I liked how more refined this was with what they were going for than Talk to Me.
It seems like a couple of directors who had 3 years of experience really hammering out a story. And a lot of times these days, I find myself in movies not connecting with the characters. However, in this one, they do a great job initially. You meet the main gal, and she's mostly blind. She says she can only see light and like shapes. So that's, I think, now I could be totally wrong, but I think that's what the majority of legally blind people have, where they can just kind of see shadows and things like that. But they immediately endear you to her and the brother. Immediately. You feel for her. She's trying to make friends with the normal kids, and I'm putting those in heavy quotes, the kids who don't have a disability, and they make fun of her. The brother is just her protector, and we learn a lot more about that as it goes on. But once you get me, and it's a very simple way to get me to love two characters. Once you do that, I can forgive any plot holes or mistakes or anything that I find along the way, because I'm invested in these characters. Final Destination Bloodlines, did not care 1 second, so anytime something went wrong, I'm like, here we go.
I know, it's like you have a brother and sister in that movie, brother and sister in this movie, and you care way more about what's going on with the characters in this movie than that one. Even though, very interestingly, both are about, generational trauma.
Yeah, true. And I thought the performances across the board, especially this creepy kid.
Oh, yeah, like, wow, this kid is such a good actor.
Yeah. The thing about Bring Her Back is it really takes you down this, and it's not a long movie. It's about an hour and 40 minutes, but it is a very deliberately paced journey about these foster kids. Their dad dies, they move in with this strange woman, and there's a slow descent into whatever the hell is going on, which they do. They suss everything out, but they do it in a methodical way that kept me I was never bored, and I was never like, okay, we missed something. Why are we...
Cold open to this movie is just like, what the heck is going on?
Yes.
But then, like, it makes sense when you get to that part being addressed later in the movie.
And I just looked it up to double check, because sometimes the effects are so good I can't tell. But the entire movie uses practical effects and not CGI, and it is... There are some things that are genuinely unsettling. I think maybe we can move on and talk about some spoilers.
If you have not seen the movie and you plan on watching it, or you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, definitely put a pause here, come back later.
This is a movie about...
Why is it called Bring Her Back?
Yeah. The foster mother, her whole goal is to... And this is a plot hole that I'll talk about in a second. But her whole goal is to... Her daughter drowned, and she wants to replace the main gal. Her name is Piper. She wants to replace her with the soul of her daughter. Dead daughter. She's gotten locked up in the freezer. My question is... If you're going to do that, it would have made more sense if she was transferring like the life of Piper into the body of her daughter, because it's still going to look like Piper. So why not just keep Piper and be nice to her?
Well, because she wanted her daughter. Since we're going into full spoils, I think that's what she realizes at the end, because she cries out for her mom. She was tied to the idea of her daughter to the point where she wanted somebody that was just like her. Yeah. And then she realized, wow, like, you know, this is a child who is just like my daughter.
Yep.
But yeah, this movie is quite depressing as well near the end. It's one of those things where, you know, this movie doesn't have a happy ending. It leaves you on a happy note, which I really like the book ending that this movie does.
Yeah.
Because like there's a little scene in the beginning talking about airplanes taking you to heaven.
Right.
And once again, it's just a nice little bonding scene that makes you care about the family in the beginning, but then it comes back and gives you that happy feeling at the end, even though everything's kind of sad.
Yeah. In the whole movie, Sally Hawkins' character, Laura, is essentially sabotaging and tormenting Andy, the older brother, so that she can get him out of the picture, because initially she just wants Piper. But Andy ends up coming along because he's just shy of his 18th birthday, where he wants to fully adopt Piper.
Yeah.
But she's basically sabotaging him, making him look like he's going insane, so that A, she can get rid of him, and B, he won't be able to adopt her down the road. We don't know how long it's supposed to last, but that's the intention.
I gotta say, that picture for Jonah Ren Phillips there, who plays the boy Ollie. Or that's not actually the kid's name, but that looks like the picture straight from the missing kid poster they had.
I think it is.
In the thing, but he has like the long hair, even though that's, by the way, yeah, that kid there is the same one as in the photo. That's the same kid, same weird looking kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonah Ren Phillips is the possessed child here.
Yeah. Which, does really good. This kid I thought did a really good job. I don't know.
He has a whole backstory where his father remarried, and the father and his new wife, aka his stepmom, really treated Piper well, and kind of left Andy feeling left out, causing him to act up, causing his dad to really beat up on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty sad, especially when he said he was 8 when he first started doing that.
Well, I think he said like his dad would beat him up, and then he, because of that, got upset and hit his sister when he was 8.
Meaning she would have been how old? Like a baby, right?
Probably. I think she's like
12?
three. She's probably 3 or 4 years younger than him. Probably is what I think they were going for. Probably when she was 4 or 5.
Let's talk about the couple of scenes that gross us out, because there's a lot of this in this movie.
I mean, the movie opens with a genitalia. Full male genitalia.
God damn it. I forgot about that. There's too much of that in this. 1 is too much.
2, though.
Yeah,
they give it to you twice. Yeah. So nice, they showed it twice.
Yeah, that definitely was a cringy moment. This dude's junk all hanging out. Come on. But why don't you go first on your... So there's a ton of stuff that's gross.
Yeah.
Spoilers, they don't kill the cat. if you're like me and you don't find any enjoyment out of that, cat survives.
Yeah, to the surprise.
Yeah.
Because I was like, with all the mean stuff they were doing to this poor cat,
Yeah.
the cat just runs away though.
Yeah. He escapes.
Yep. But there's a scene. It takes place after the one that Dan's going to talk about. But this kid, like, there. So part of the thing is, like, part of the transferal process is you have like an in-between person, which is what this weird kid is supposed to be, where they consume the flesh of the deceased, which ties into what she said earlier, how the spirit stays 3 months after.
Yeah.
Which is why I think she keeps the body frozen. And then is like, okay, then they'll like puke it up into the new host, and that's how the transfer happens.
Yeah.
So this kid has this hunger, like always constantly needing to eat and eat and eat. And he gets out one time and he starts biting into the wooden counter there, and you can hear. And that was the thing, is I couldn't tell. I was like, is that the crunching of the teeth or of the wood? I couldn't tell, but that's what was getting me. It was seeing that
a little A,
and
little
unable
B.
to. I was like, I can't tell what's crunching here, but I don't want to see that happen.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what actually got me more so than because he bites into the table twice and then bites his own like wrist off.
Oh yeah.
And that didn't get me as much. It was the biting into the table, because I'd seen enough blood and gut stuff before. But that's like the sound of like the crunching. I was like, ugh.
Teeth shattering.
Yeah, I was like, I can't look at this. This is so gross. I had to look away.
The one that got me where I was like recoiling in my seat was slightly before that, and maybe 15 minutes before that in terms of movie time. Andy's able to get Oliver. He realizes that he's been locked in this room, and he's able to get Oliver out, and he wants to feed him. He bends down to get a plate out of the cupboard behind, and
he's cutting up a melon.
Yeah,
and he puts the melon slice. Stupidly puts the melon slice on the tip of the knife, and the kid just grabs the knife.
What's happening is they're locking in. The camera's following Andy at this point. You can't see Oliver at all, and you start to hear this crunching sound. And I thought at first he was like eating a plate or
same here. I was like, it sounds like a plate or a glass cup or something.
And he's chewing. So if you picture your two front teeth on top, he's chewing on a kitchen knife. Picture Michael Myers' kitchen knife, and it's blade facing towards his nose as he's chewing on it, and it's separating his two front teeth and splitting his lip and gums down the center as Andy turns around and tries to wrestle it from him. It goes deeper.
Yeah, he like
that was just that was disgusting.
Yeah,
like that's vomit level.
Yeah, we got out of the theater, and the ticket lady goes, "What movie did you just get out of?" I was like, "I'll bring her back." He goes, "This girl just walked by and said she hated it."
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, it was pretty disgusting." She goes, "No, she just thought it was a bad movie." I was like, "Yeah, it's probably because of how disgusting it was."
Yeah. I would like to have talked to her and see what she hated about it. But.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably should be like, is unnecessarily gross and it didn't make sense. And
she was in the bathroom though. I didn't want to wait for her.
I didn't want to stick around.
But
yeah, very small cast though. Like it's basically just 4 people most of the time.
Yeah, 4 main people, and then you get the social worker, appearances from the dad, and then the girls who are kind of picking on Piper in the beginning. That's the whole cast.
Really, yeah. Like there's like some set dressing people all around, like when they go to like that mall area, but it's like
then when she does like blind dodgeball.
Yeah.
So
it's like you can tell it's just like that's not real. Like you can see there is 36 cast members, but the people that you only like, everybody else gets like 30 seconds of screen time.
Yeah.
If that, besides the dad and the social worker.
Yeah, the main 4 are 95% of the cast. So it's great.
But yeah, want to get into the ending?
Yeah.
So like the part that we were saying how it kind of ends depressingly is he brings the social worker there to be like, hey, look, this kid's been locked up and is all messed up, and it's this kid that's been missing. Because and once again, it's just them treating the audience smart. They're like, oh yeah, Oliver, oh, he's got beautiful red hair.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, she's just making up something. And no, it turns out the actual kid, Oliver, was her nephew, I think they said,
yeah.
who actually did have red hair. And you
Yep.
kind of get the idea that, oh, she probably fed his hair to this kid. Because once again, stuff they don't explain, where like she feeds hair to this kid and he's able to like inhabit the souls of people.
Yeah.
They don't explain that at all, but it doesn't really need to be. It's just part of like this weird ritual, I'm assuming, to make this creature what it is.
Yeah.
She cleans up the house, but he's able to show the back storage area where the kid is currently eating the body of her daughter because she's
Yep.
getting ready to do the ritual. They go out and they both get surprised by a car somehow.
Yeah.
But they both get run over. The social worker just straight up dies. He's super injured and he gets glassed, is what I like to say. I don't know. I don't want to spoil Glass, even though I don't like that movie. But let's just say he gets drowned in a puddle.
Which I thought was a very sad way. He was
Yeah.
my favorite character in the movie.
But it does lead to that nice moment then at the end, because like, you know, she as we kind of hinted to earlier, she starts to drown the girl in the lake or in the pool because she has
Yeah.
to die the same way. But then she kind of breaks free and says mama, and that's where the lady kind of realizes, wow, this isn't just somebody, this is an actual kid, and she has like a change of heart, lets her go. This was the thing that I didn't believe the most, is that Oliver kid, or Bird, I think his name is something Bird.
Connor
Connor
Cooper
Bird?
or something like
Yeah, survives.
that. Yeah.
I was like, there's no way this kid stays alive. Like, because he walks outside the barrier where I
Yep.
guess that contains the souls.
Yep.
And so I'm guessing the soul got expunged from him, or all the souls.
Yeah.
But then they find him and he's like still alive and seems to be fine. It's like, kid ripped off, like, you know, smashed
Ugh.
his hand in, cut it open,
Yeah.
and then bit a knife up his mouth, bit his skin off his hand, bit into a countertop thing, was eating, like, you know, it's like, there's no way this kid survived like that.
Yeah.
But okay, that is like, whatever, that didn't matter too much to me. But then you have her sitting in the car and she's being really sad, and she looks up and sees the plane taking off, reminding her of her brother, of that little happiness he tried to bring to her, saying like, you know, oh yeah, that plane that you hear going off, that's, you know, dad going to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And she's able to think that's my brother going to heaven because she's listened to the voicemail that he left.
Yeah.
And that's why it leaves you, it's a sad, depressing ending, but it leaves you with that happy note of she's probably gonna be able to move on from this, because that's the whole
Does have a
plot.
choice.
That's the whole plot with Andy, is he just cannot move on from the stuff that his dad did to beat him. That was kind of like that generational trauma.
It's a very they touch on a lot of sensitive topics, but they do it in a classy way, I would say, as much as you can on a disgusting, filthy horror movie. But I don't even know if I'd call this technically a horror movie. It's more like a thriller, like a psychological thriller, I would say.
I think the more that we've talked about it, the more I'm liking this movie, actually, because
Yeah.
you know, we just got out of it. I've still like
Of course. But we are gonna
solidifying
rate
my ideas. Yeah, that's why I was like, I kind of had an idea, and the more I'm seeing this, I was like, 63 seems a little low
Yeah.
for this movie.
All right, what do you got? 1 to 10.
I'm sitting at like an 8 right now.
When I saw I never watched a trailer for this. I saw the promotional material and I read a brief synopsis, and I haven't watched any reviews or anything to do with it. So everything that I was expecting this movie to be is mostly what it was, in terms of it was very Evil Dead-esque, and I did enjoy that. For me, I'm giving it a 7.7. I always do decimals. I'm never going to stop doing decimals. But I think that's right around the area, 63%. I don't think enough people have really reviewed this yet because it's brand new. Literally came out yesterday. Today's the technical release date, but they do the Thursday releases for everything. And domestic box office from that Thursday of 850,000. So hopefully it does pretty well. I saw a budget somewhere of 4.5 million. There it was. So I think it will make that. It's 100 times better than Talk to Me. I couldn't stand Talk to Me. These guys to me are stepping their game up, and all the acting across the board is, see, 3.8 is quite a 7 points. Hey,
yeah, I say that's
right
where you are.
Letterboxd is on point here. 24,000 people have watched it already. That's pretty good. Watched
Wow.
it and reviewed it. Yeah, I would say check this out, but be warned, be heavily warned.
It is
This movie is
R-rated.
gross.
It is
Yeah.
very, very R-rated.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it gets as gross as like Evil Dead remake does, but it's like I said, I think the key word to remember with this review is disturbing.
All right. On that note, we'll catch you guys later.
Peace.